Hey, and welcome back. Thanks for joining me. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to conduct intake appointments. Intake appointments are the initial in-person contact with the independent study student and their parent or guardian. The reasons why we have the meeting is to not only meet the student and their parent, but also to inform them about the behavioral expectations of participation in the independent studies program. Part of the intake meeting is also to set up the courses that the student will be enrolled in and schedule weekly academic appointments. And finally, the most important part of the intake appointment is to review and sign the independent study student enrollment contract. Prior to the intake appointment, the independent studies office manager will contact the student's family and arrange a 30 to 45 minute intake appointment. The teacher, the academic counselor, and the family should all be notified about the time and location of the appointment. Also, prior to the meeting, we should expect the academic counselor to provide a student transcript to share with the student and to guide the course enrollment process. But if for some reason the transcript evaluation is not available in time for the appointment, the teacher should conduct a transcript evaluation for the purpose of course programming. And if you need to contact the principal or the department chair to request access to Infinite Campus, the student information database, please do that. Also, prior to the intake appointment, you might want to inspect Infinite Campus and check for any notable student classifications like GATE or 504 or special ed. You might notice behavioral flags or learning accommodations. Also, you want to select courses based on the student's credit needs. But the schedule could also be informed by the student's current scheduled courses. Prepare a list of electives and alternate classes as well, just so that the student has options. And gather textbooks as needed. Make sure you record the book numbers so that they can return them and you can keep track of who has what textbook. Should also prepare the independent studies program contract. And make sure you have hard copies of the following: student transcript, transcript evaluation, school calendar, teacher contact information, and the actual contract for signatures. During the intake appointment, you want the parent, the student, the teacher, and the academic counselor to be present. There are some important talking points on this checklist, and we'll talk about them on a separate tutorial, but you can just take a look at these items and make sure that you cover them in your intake meeting. And then after the intake appointment, you want to make sure that you scan and distribute signed copies of the signed contract to the parent, the office, and the designated teacher, which is you. Also, you want to complete and submit the Independent Studies Program Change Form to the office. This is the form that enrolls students in classes. And you want to prepare the students' weekly assignment sheets and then add the student's name to the average daily attendance forms, the ADA forms. It seems like a lot, and it is, but as soon as you start one and then another and you get into the routine, it actually becomes a lot easier. So feel free to reference this tutorial, download the written tutorial as a reference, and I'll see you next time.